Hello, my name is Chengming. Now I'm belong to Life Science Department, studying the Biomedical Science at立命館 University. Today, I want to talk about how the coronavirus affects people's life in China. It is about quarantine, economic life, and the changes in their lives. In order to research this, I made a questionnaire and surveyed 29 people from 3 different cities in China, interviewing restaurant owners, clothing shop owners, farmers in Henan province, printing houses in Dongguan, and car sales in Shenzhen. This questionnaire used the 3-sector model to research the relationship between the job and their economic situation and lifestyle. The 3-sector model consists of primary, secondary, tertiary industries. The primary industries is about the raw material such as farming, logging, hunting, fishing, and mining. And the secondary industry is manufacturing. The tertiary industry is the service sector. And firstly, I've been to Guangdong province. That's my home, which is dominated by secondary and tertiary industries, with GDP accounting for 10% of the national output, making it China's largest economic province. 82% of respondents consider the control of the movement of people to be strict during the epidemic. And in Dongguan City, based on my interviews, apart from unnecessary food purchases, people returning from abroad must be quarantined at home for 2 weeks, during which time they are not allowed to go out. It was also recommended to reduce going out if it's unnecessary, which lasts about 2 months. With regard to income, 65% of people had a decrease in income, 26% had no impact, and 8.7% even had an increase. One of Guangdong secondary sector employees reported no decrease or even an increase in income, around 20%.
Oh yeah, she even bought a new car.
But foreign train orders were down considerably. This is her factor, and it's a printing house. They also print a manual for Japanese company such as Nitori, Komari, etc. The remainder reported decrease of between 30 and 50%. About the tertiary industry in Guangdong province, 10 of those working in the tertiary sector reported a decrease in income with an average of 45%, while the remaining one bucket the train with an increase of 40%. Some said they had lost customers and had started to look for a side hustle in case of an emergency, but most agreed that life hadn't changed much, except that it was less convenient to travel. Secondly, I've been to Henan province. Henan province is dominated by primary and secondary industries. It is one of China's largest agricultural province, with grain production of 65 million tons in 2019. Its wheat production accounting for a quarter of China's output and even 60% of China's frozen food production. In the early stage of the outbreak, because it is geographically close to Wuhan, some villages even cut off the road and didn't allow people from abroad access. They arranged for everyone come from other provinces to quarantine in the same place. The vehicle they drive will also concentrate in a car park. Quarantine for 2 weeks, and the body temperature of each person was measured every day. When the quarantine was over, they were also advised to cut down on unnecessary trip, and the government helped the villagers in their daily lives as well, such as courier delivery, medical research and medicine delivery, food delivery, all about the delivery. There were 40% of people interviewed, their income has decreased. When I interviewed one of them, and that was a woman who ran a clothing store, who said because of the epidemic, people had no income and young people had left for the big city, so there were no customers. I also interviewed a farmer and an elderly woman who stayed at home with her children during the epidemic. Just the opposite. The farmer said he had not been affected at all. Even the price of crops had gone up, and the paddy rice, which used to be 2.3 yuan per kilogram, has increased to 2.5 yuan per kilogram. It was an increase of about 10%. Another woman said that her income and life hadn't been affected because it was the Spring Festival and she was just playing at home every day. Not much changes was felt, just like every year she did. Next, we will talk about the difference between urban and rural areas. According to the result of questionnaire, the rural areas can provide everything they need to live on by themselves. And also, they have small population and no commercial activities, so they have the same life as usual. But the urban life is dependent on others and on society to survive. So during an outbreak, when people had to be quarantined, some people who normally have no saving will have their income reduced or no income at all because they couldn't find a job, and it was up to people in society to help each other out to survive. The holiday has already been observed, with the exception of Hubei province. Most of the province have started to work as usual since February 10th. All of them, the respondents, were very optimistic, appeared to the future, and satisfied that the outbreak was under control. In general, people's daily lives have not been affected too much. Through this epidemic, people have become more concerned about their health. About the economy, foreign trade orders were the most affected, but not so much for individuals, with some factories even backing the trend and their income would increase. In addition, students have been unable to go to school because of the epidemic and have had to use online classes instead, which has affected the quality of teaching. And overall, the impact of the epidemic on people's life in China has not been too bad, thanks to the efforts of medical staff. It has been a year since the outbreak, and it will be interesting to see what the future holds. This is my video. Thanks for watching.